Hello guys, and today we're going to talk about local variables in Scratch. What is local variables? In Python, a local variable is a variable created in a function. When you create a function like def, my own function, and you create a variable in the function, you can use that variable only in that function. If you try to use it outside the function, it doesn't work because, because it is locally to only that function. Now, if you create a variable outside the function, it is a global variable. That is, you can use that function outside of it. Now, Scratch also has a feature of what's a local variable and a global variable. It is really different from that. And in Scratch, local variables are really powerful. I'm going to show you a proper example now on how we can use local variables. Like, I'm also going to show you a game that I made, and the link to that game is also in the description below. You can go try it out and try making it, or you can try and just play it. So here, local variables is very important. Otherwise, the game's not going to work, and it's going to become a huge problem. I'm going to show you that problem in the example now. So let's jump onto the PC and have a look. Understanding local variables. I just give you a little introduction on local variables. And now let's understand it in a project so you get a better understanding. I've created a little project. This is just a dummy one. Later I'll show you wherever it's useful. Now I have this sprite one. Maybe we could name this box, and this is clone. Okay, here I've given, so if up arrow key pressed, point in direction, move 10 steps. If right arrow key pressed, left arrow key pressed, down arrow key pressed, similarly. So each of them had its own point in direction. And so now and for the Apple sprite, I do if touching box, then create a clone, go to random position. And for this clone, when I receive a clone, create a clone of myself. When I start as a clone, show and go to random position. So the box moves, the apple, if it touches, it goes to a new position, and also broadcast create a clone. And when I receive create a clone, it will create a clone of myself and then show it up. And it will also move to a random position. So let's see that working. So the moment I touch, it creates a clone of itself and it actually starts working. Now, one clone is created. Now, if I go and touch the apple another 10, I want another clone. That's one more clone to be created. But that's not what's going to happen. That's not what's going to happen because we've created a blender. Any programmer would actually do this because it's the even when I started off, I thought this would be an easy way, but then I realized that this is not the way. There's another way, and I'm going to tell you why. I knew this would happen, but I thought, let me try. But then when I tried it didn't work. So now if I go touch again, I want another red box to come. But there'll be 3 which comes. That's 1 which was there and 2 more new. See? Now if I touch it again, there are 7 total. It means 4 new ones will come. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now there are going to be 15 on the screen. And if I go and touch 15, they're going to be 31, they're going to be 63, and so on. So it's just going to flood your screen and on with clothes. The first time it works fine, but then the second time it works. And I'm going to show you why as well. See, it's flooding up our screen with full things, and it's going to get laggy, right? And I'm going to show you why. Okay, let's say once. Let's do it once for once. For now, once. I'm going to show the sprite. This is the one box. That's the actual one. Later, when the game starts, I hide it. So that's why. So if I touch, now this box, this is the actual sprite, creates a clone of itself. Later, if we can hide this clone like this, so that is fine. Now, when I touch the apple again, the original sprite creates a clone of itself, but that message is also passed one second, yeah, is also passed to this clone, which again creates a clone of itself, right? Which is really what we didn't want. So basically, we wanted only this sprite to create a clone, right? So when the message received, it will say, "Oh, I'm the sprite. I have to create a clone of myself," and creates. Now this clone also receives the message, right? So it's like, "Oh, I'm receiving the message. I should create also a clone of myself," and it will create the clone. Now what happens? So one this created and one this created. Now when I touch the apple again, this gets automatically a message that I should create a clone of myself. Then all these three also get a message, I need to create a clone of myself, which we don't want. We want just the original sprite to create a clone of itself. But here all the clones are also getting the message, create a clone of myself. So the clone is creating a clone of itself again. So that is what is the problem, why we're getting so many things. So basically, I hope you understood. Let me try to explain it once more. So basically, the clone here is also getting a message to do it again. So when we actually start it, the original sprite gets. Then after original sprite gets, again the clone is also getting a message to create a clone of itself, which we don't want. We want only the original sprite. So the clone is creating a clone of itself, and all the other clones are also creating a clone of itself. So how can I do that? In the clone, I'm going to say make a variable. So in the clone sprite, I need to say make a variable. I'm going to say clone and a question mark. So then it will know, should I make a clone or not? And now just doing this wouldn't solve the problem, because I need to click on a special option called for this sprite only, right? For this sprite only. Otherwise, see, for this sprite only. Otherwise, this will be for all sprites, and all sprites will get it, right? So for this sprite only, right? It's a local variable. Means everyone won't get it. Only locally for this sprite it's going to get it. So once I click for this sprite only, clone, question mark, and I'm going to say when flag is clicked, set clone to 0. When I start as a clone, set clone to 1. And if clone equal to 0, then only create a clone of myself. If clone equal to 0, then only create a clone of myself. So let's see if it works fine. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and it really works fine now, right? So it's just a little bit of thought is put into this. It's a little confusing, but a little bit of thought has to be put into this, right? So basically what I'm saying is, when I start as a clone, now I've created a variable called clone, and I'm going to say set clone to 0. So the original sprite has a clone of 0. But because it's a local variable, each clone has a different clone number. So each clone can have a different clone number. And here the clone is 1, and here clone is 0. So it's basically, I'm going to give you an analogy. It's basically like on a, maybe, let me give you an example of maybe a football match, maybe. Let's say, yes. Yes, in a football match, all the players have 0 on their cards. So all players have 0. Suddenly, a player gets a red card, and on that player's card is the number 1. So is the number 1, and there's a condition like this: if your number is equal to 1, then you go sit out of the match. So that is what is an analogy. It's a really nice one. So that's how it works. So let me try to explain once again. So there's football match, all players are there, like all clones and all clones are there, all the sprites and clones are there. A player gets a red card. That is this, let's say the clone gets a red card. Sorry, not the clone, sprite gets a red card. And it has 0 written on it. And the other player, the red card player also has 0 on it. All the other people have 1 on their cards. All the other people have 1 on their clones. All the other clones have 1 on their cards. So if you have a 0 on your card, then only you sit outside. Same way, if this clone is 0, then only create a clone of myself. That way it will work. So now let me hide it. We don't need to see it anymore. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So it will keep on going. Now, this is just an example. Maybe if you were to think of a real game like that, I made one game. And okay, let me just save now for now. Yes, maybe this kind of a snake game. So this is like a snake game. If I eat an apple, I get 1. If I eat a, so see, I got 1. If I eat an orange, I get 2. So see, it's like a snake game. This is where when you have to clone that body sprite, that body thing you have to clone, right? So if I touch the red, black, it will the game will end. So if I eat an apple, if I eat an orange, I get, and if I go through this red one, I get to some other position suddenly. So it's like a secret passage maybe. So see, if I go through red one, I finally end out somewhere. So, but after I get to a certain score, if I touch my own body also, I will. After I get to score 10, if I touch my own body, the game will end. So see, the game has ended. So it's like this nice snake game that I had made. So that is what is all about local variables. Here, local variables. Just let me show you. So should I make clone equal to 0? Then only create a clone of myself. Else clone equal to 1. So else clone equal to 1. This is also a very nice game. You can try it out if you'd like to. Oh no. Okay, I messed up something. Okay, that's fine. So with this, yes, I've got it back. Anyways, with this, that's all about local variables. You know where to use a local variable, and I hope you all have understood how to use a local variable. And basically, each clone can have its own ID. Each clone can have maybe its own ID as a clone, and but in a global variable, that's what I showed you. For a cloud variable, it is all clones. For all sprites, the value is only 1. Each sprite can't have its own value. If you change it in one sprite, then all sprites will automatically change its value to that. But a local variable each clone can have its own ID. I hope you have understood local variables and you enjoyed this video. Yes, hope you enjoyed that video. This video on local variables, and you understood how you can use local variables. Basically, local variables is each sprite or each clone has its own variable. Yes, so each sprite has its own, each sprite or each clone has its own, the variable number, whatever you store in the variable differs for each sprite or clone. So each sprite will have a different string or integer or float or boolean value in that. It's different for each patch. So it is also useful and powerful in some places in code. So with this, I'll have to end this video here. I hope you liked the video. And if you like the video, please give this video a thumbs up. And you also learned something new and it solved your problem in the project in Scratch. So please give this video a thumbs up and also like, share, subscribe to this channel if you want more videos like this. See you all next time.